Hey everyone, Matt here. We finally have an update on those $200 prepaid cards from Medicare Beneficiaries. You're probably thinking, I can't believe my ears right now. Did I really just hear that? An update on the $200 prepaid cards from Medicare Beneficiaries? Yes, you do not need to tune your dials. You heard that correctly. Finally, an update on the $200 prepaid cards from Medicare Beneficiaries. I first reported on this way back in late September after the announcement first came out. I talked about it throughout October as we were supposed to be receiving a letter way back in October notifying all of these Medicare beneficiaries that, hey, a card is going to be showing up in your mailbox. Be on the lookout for it. Watch for it. The cards never came. The letters never came. They were supposed to arrive right before the election. Still nothing. No dice. So then in November, we had another update saying, hey, we were supposed to be getting the cards here in November, possibly into December. Well, guess what? Many months later, here we are, and we finally got an update, and nobody has the cards. But we have an update, and it sounds like oh man, I don't even want to say it, but maybe they could actually start flowing out now. But anyway, let's get into the update and talk about what we actually have as of now. I can't believe that this hasn't gone into fruition yet and that we have not gotten these cards yet, but at least they came out and made an update. I honestly kind of thought that this was one of those things that they just like, hey, they're not watching. Let's slip into the darkness and pretend like it never happened. You know how that works with the government? They act like, oh yeah, they make statements and then they never follow through. I thought this was one of those things where it came out as a great idea, but yet they were never going to follow through. But the fact that they came out with an update is kind of funny because it's like, you guys kind of need to follow through now. So anyway, let's get into the update. Certainly very funny, but at the same time, I told you from the very start, I would be committed to coming back anytime that I get an update on this topic to bring you up to speed because, nobody got their card and a lot of you really want these cards and need this extra $200. I know it's $200, but you know what? $200 is, I guess, better than zero in some situations. So anyway, but hey, if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. And if you're returning, welcome back. Thanks again for checking me out. Let's get into the content. So we have these cards, these $200 prepaid cards that President Trump announced way back in late September. Well, what is the announcement? You're thinking, all right, dude, you've wasted like 4 minutes. What is the announcement? Give it to me. What's the announcement? All right, so here's the update, and then we have a little bit of follow-up information after that. An industry group that ensures the regulatory standards are being met for healthcare benefit cards actually came out just the other day and gave their approval. Yes, approval for these $200 prepaid cards. So apparently this whole time, over the last several months now, we've been waiting for this group, or somebody apparently, to offer their approval on these cards. Well, we finally got the approval. It sounds like many people were disputing these cards and saying, hey, this isn't lawful, it's illegal, where's the money coming from? There was a lot of questioning about these cards, but this group came out and said, hey, we've looked through it and these are ethical and everything looks good. We are giving it our approval. So unbelievable. So it sounds like we finally have this group to approve them. It sounds like this is also what was holding these cards up. That's good. So now the next logistical issue that we have with the distribution of these cards is that it sounds like 39 million Medicare beneficiaries would be eligible for these cards. But the next hurdle that they have is they're saying, well, how are we going to notify these 39 million Medicare beneficiaries in the amount of time that we have while President Trump is still in office to notify them that, hey, be on the lookout in your mailbox. You're probably going to be receiving a letter. Within the letter, there's going to be a card. The card is going to have $200 loaded onto it as a debit card. You can use it in the pharmacy for copays and premiums. How can we let all of these Medicare beneficiaries know? Well, hey, government, I got an idea for you. Leave it up to me. I'm telling people right now. Game over. It's done. You don't need to worry about sending out a letter. You're just going to waste more time. I'm telling everybody right now. Be on the lookout. You could be receiving a letter in your mailbox that could have a card within it with $200 loaded onto it. There you go. So be on the lookout for it. Who knows when it could possibly arrive, but just be on the lookout. That could arrive. So there you go. I solved their problem. Free. I made a free announcement for them. Thank you. So the next logistical issue is we have a little bit more time here that President Trump is still in office. So what they want to do is they want to make sure that all of these cards are able to be distributed and mailed out to all of these 39 million Medicare beneficiaries while President Trump is still in office. So the logistical issue is, okay, we have a little bit of time here. How can we get all of these cards printed up, packaged up, mailed out to all of these 39 million individuals with the limited amount of time that we have? Because the new administration, Joe Biden, is not in support of these cards. He has made it very clear. He does not like this idea. He does not like these cards, and he does not want to do them. So if this proposal or if these cards extend into the new administration, otherwise known as January 20th, then we could potentially see the entire thing fall apart. This whole proposal, this whole plan just completely fall apart. So these are the logistical issues that they are dealing with at this time. So, oh man, a lot of moving parts. Too bad they wasted so much time trying to distribute all of these cards. So the price tag on this plan is about $8 billion. And there's been a lot of different disputes, a lot of arguments, a lot of controversy, a lot of different conversations about where is this $8 billion really going to come from, because there's people saying, hey, you can't take $8 billion out of the Medicare fund to pay for this. Well, then, like in my, my last update I talked about, they're going to be calling it a demonstration. So then they can apparently take money. But that's a totally different topic. If you want to check that video out, scroll back. I did that, I don't know, a few weeks ago. There was that last update. But anyway, this is about what we have for the update. So it's nice that we finally have an update on these cards, because a lot of you have been wondering, hey, we were promised these $200 prepaid cards. What happened to them? Well, here's what we know about them now. So it sounds like they were being held up by this industry group that apparently needed to approve them to make sure that they're ethical and everything else is going on with them. So if this is the first time you've heard of them, let me give you a brief background of what these cards are. So way back in late September, President Trump was out with a statement saying he was going to be sending Medicare beneficiaries a $200 prepaid card that can be used in the pharmacy for copays and premiums. So that's about what we heard from it. We heard a few other things, but that's kind of like the basics of the card. It's a $200 debit card for Medicare beneficiaries. That's about it. That's about all we heard. There were a lot of questions that I was receiving. Can it be used on groceries, rent, utilities, clothes, food, gas? Can it be used on any of that stuff? And we never got that clarity from anybody, but my assumption would be no. There was other questions being, can we buy over the counter at the pharmacy? Buy over the counter, not prescriptions, but anything over the counter. Again, there was never that clarity. All that they gave for clarity was that it needs to be used for pharmacy copays and premiums to help offset the cost of prescriptions for seniors who are on Medicare. So that's kind of like the whole idea behind this, because they're trying to lower prescription costs for all of these people. So that's kind of the whole idea behind these cards in the first place. So again, I don't want to run through all of the details. If you want, feel free to scroll back, check out my other videos talking about these cards. Let's see, back in October, I believe I had like 4 different videos dedicated to this, because there was more information coming out at the time. There was more information on these cards at the time. However, we haven't heard a whole lot. So anytime I do see something about these cards, I'm always pretty excited. Like, wow, they haven't forgotten about these cards yet. So it's actually pretty good. So this is what we have for the update on these cards. Of course, I will continue watching this, and we'll see if they actually get distributed. In my last update, I asked everybody, I said, hey, if you've received a card for any reason, leave a comment down below and let me know what it looks like, what it is, let us know anything about it. And I actually had about 3 people comment saying, I received the card. So maybe they actually did receive the card, because apparently they were supposed to be sending out a test group of cards back in October. There was supposed to be a small test group of cards being sent out. Who knows if they actually were sent out ever, but 3 people down in the comment section on my last video actually commented and said, hey, I received the card. So maybe those actually were the test group that was sent out. I don't know. But either way, here's your message. Continue watching your mailbox. Of course, no promises, but if you happen to feel a plastic card in one of your envelopes, you may want to open it up and check it out because it could be one of these cards. But also watch out, there's a lot of scams out there as well. So I hope this helps you out. My commitment remains. If we get any other updates on these cards, I will be back and let you know what's going on. Enjoy your day. Stay safe. Thanks so much for watching the update. Thanks for your support. Hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you later. Thanks, everybody.